Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Northeast Websites. You're watching the Daily Evening Bulletin with me, Sarmila Pradhan. Starting off with national news. India achieved yet another milestone in COVID vaccination drive with total vaccination crosses 83 crore mark. The central government on 22nd September apprised the Supreme Court that the National Disaster Management Authority has recommended an amount of rupees 50,000 as ex gratia to be paid to families of those who died in COVID-19, including those who were involved in relief operations or associated in preparedness activities to the cause of death. Government asks power plants to auction fly ash through transparent bidding process. Minister of Power and New and Renewable Energy R.K. Singh held a meeting on Wednesday to review the status of fly ash transportation to the end users and the fly ash utilization. Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment celebrated Sign Language Day today. The objective of the program is to sensitize the general public about the importance of Indian sign languages and the information and communication accessibility for persons with hearing disabilities. Sign language not only plays an important role in educating people, but it also vital in creating employment and vocational training for persons with hearing disabilities. Andhra Pradesh, the Trimula Tirupati Devasthanams has made COVID-19 test or vaccination certificate mandatory for pilgrims visiting the hill town of Tirumala. Only those with the coronavirus negative certificate or vaccination second dose certificate will be allowed entry into the hill temple for darshan likely from October 1st. Andaman, under Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, 56.53% of food grains have been lifted in the country under Phase 4. Andaman and Nicobar is topmost in the country to have lifted highest percentage of food grains. The Union Territory has lifted 93% of the allocated food grains under PMGKAY 4 from July to 15th September this year. Jammu and Kashmir. Government sacks 6 employees for alleged terror links. 6 government employees, including 2 police constables, were dismissed from their service for anti-national activities in Jammu and Kashmir on 22nd September, taking the total sackings to over a dozen since April this year for allegedly having terror links. Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai on Wednesday asked officials to complete the second phase of Bengaluru metro work by 2024, a year before the deadline. Kerala. The Supreme Court on 22nd September Wednesday declined a plea filed by Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple Trust seeking to attempt its from the audit of 25th years as ordered by the top court last year. Schools in Kerala to reopen in staggered manner from 1st November, says Chief Minister. Schools closed in Kerala for a year and a half following the COVID-19 outbreak. Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Anurag Thakur will inaugurate the first Himalayan Film Festival on 24th September 2021. The festival, spanning 5 days, is being held at Leh, Ladakh from 24 to 28th September 2021. The Maharashtra Cabinet on Wednesday cleared a proposal that seeks to make modifications in the ordinance to restore reservation to the other backward classes in the local bodies. Other backward classes used to get up to 27% reservation in electoral wards of municipal bodies and Jilla Parishads. After Tamil Nadu now demand to scrap implementing the centralized medical entrance exam, National Eligibility cum Entrance Test in Maharashtra. Manipur Chief Minister N. Biren Singh inaugurated 28 fully completed projects for 2 hill districts of the state, Tamilong and None, on 23rd September. Sri Biren also laid the foundation stone for 4 projects for these hill districts. Meghalaya Union Minister of State for Panchayati Raj Kapil Maheshwar Patel reviewed the schemes and programs of the ministry which are being implemented by the government of Meghalaya. During his visit, the minister reviewed MG Narega, PMAYG, NRLM, RGSA and other flagship programs of the government in Shillong. Former Punjab Chief Minister Captain Amarinder Singh on Wednesday made it clear that he would oppose PPCC President Navjot Singh Sidhu's elevation to the Punjab Chief Ministerial post, making all efforts possible. Telangana. The South Central Railway Zone recently launched biometric token machine services for the first time at Secunderabad railway station in a bid to assure passengers' safety as well as ease to passengers' congestion during the boarding time. Railway latest news: a major advantage of the biometric token machine is that the criminal acts committed by the passengers in the train can be checked. Since the railways will have the details of every passenger, it can be easily caught if any crime is committed. Coming to defense, the Supreme Court on 22nd September refused to accept the centre request to allow women candidates to appear for the entrance exam to the NDA from next year, saying it does not want women to be denied their rights. The induction of women cannot be postponed by 1 year. The Supreme Court says NDA exam for women cannot be delayed, turns down Central's plea, observing that the induction of women to the NDA cannot be postponed by 1 year. The Supreme Court allowed female candidates to take the exam in November this year and not wait till May 2022 as requested by the government. IIT Kanpur and the Indian Air Force have joined hands in their endeavour to build robust technologies both in the academic and research front in the domain of aerospace technology. India participated in the 6th edition of the multinational counter-terror exercise in the Orenburg region of Russia. The exercise has been organized under the aegis of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The Indian Army informed that India has sent a team of 200 personnel for the 6th edition of Exercise Peaceful Mission, which will be held from September 13th to September 25th, 2021. Talking about the international news, PM Modi has embarked on a 3-day visit to the United States on 22nd September, where he will address the UN General Assembly and attend the Quad Summit, as well hold a bilateral meet with US President Joe Biden at the White House, Vice President Kamala Harris, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Japanese Premier Yoshihide Suga. PM Modi is also likely to hold meetings with several other heads of the states apart from the interacting with the CEOs of the top American technical companies. PM Modi will be addressing the 6th session of the UN General Assembly on 25th September before heading back to New Delhi. India hosted the first India-United Kingdom Consular Dialogue through the video conferencing India hosted the first India-United Kingdom Consular Dialogue through video conferencing on 22nd September. Coming to the world news, Chinese, Russian and Pakistani special envoys has been met to top officials of the Taliban interim government in Kabul and discussed the formation of an inclusive government combating terrorism and humanitarian situation. Pakistan PM Imran Khan has recently commented that preventing women from accessing education in Afghanistan would be un-Islamic, but he hoped that the Taliban leadership would soon allow women to resume studies. Attackers struck Taliban vehicle in an eastern Afghanistan on Wednesday, witnesses said, killing at least 2 fighters and 3 civilians in the latest violence in the group's takeover of the country in mid-August. The United Nations aid chief said he had released $45 million in emergency fund to help prevent Afghanistan's battered healthcare system from collapsing. A 5.9 magnitude earthquake has rattled Southeast Australia, damaging buildings in the city of Melbourne. The earthquake happened about 9:15 local time on Wednesday at Mansfield. Covering the sports news, Delhi Capital beat Hyderabad by 8 wickets. Sunrisers Hyderabad player T. Natarajan tested positive for COVID-19 at a scheduled RT-PCR test. The player has isolated himself from the rest of the squad. Lastly, COVID update. India saw a single-day increase of 83,347 new coronavirus cases as its caseload went past 56 lakh according to the Union Health Ministry data updated on Wednesday, with 45,87,613 people recovered. The Health Ministry claimed India has the highest recoveries among the top COVID-affected nations in the world. There are 9,68,377 active cases of coronavirus infection in the country, which comprises 17.15% of the total caseload data sold. With this, we come to the end of today's news. Thank you so much for watching Northeast Websource. Stay connected for further news. Thank you.